Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to this episode of Healing Your Codependency. I'm Marshall Berkshire. I'm your guide in discovering more peace, freedom, love, connection, joy in your world after codependency. Today, we're going to continue with the Actually Heal series because we got the Actually Heal course coming starting July 9th. We're going to talk about the 4 signals that I look for that tell me that healing is actually happening. You can use these 4 signals to help you understand what's going on in your world, your healing efforts, if the processes, if the tools, the knowledge, and the effort you're putting into it actually working. So these 4 signals can give you some real world, tangible evidence of, hey, I'm healing, things are growing, things are changing. And that will empower your healing, build confidence in your ability to heal, and keep you going with it. Because healing work is no easy task, as I imagine you can attest to. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Before I do that, just a reminder, come join us in the Heal Your Codependency community here on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Come join us there where you can get additional tools, guidance, and support in your journey out of codependency and in healing. Further, the Actually Heal course is open for enrollment. It closes in, 8 days, so 7 days from tomorrow. And I've added a new option. Some of you requested a course-only option, so that is available too. Make sure you read the details on that because there are important details to understand about what you get with the course-only option versus the membership. Okay. So those 4 signals that tell us we're healing. So a long time, I felt lost in whether or not I was healing, whether or not things were working, whether or not, I don't know, was it working? Was it happening? And I started to notice this pattern from my therapist and from my coach telling me these signals. They were reflecting back to me certain things. They're like, wow, you notice that less intense that anxiety was there? Or did you notice you didn't feel so much shame about that thing? Did you notice it took you longer to feel shame about something? Like you did the thing and then 2 days later you're like, oh, I should feel shame about it. They started pointing these kinds of traits out in my process, and that helped me start to understand that there were 4 primary signals that tell us we're healing. And the first signal I look for in myself and my students is what I call the gap. The gap is, hey, I was here. I had like a 9 or a 10 on the scale of shame about the thing, and now it's a 4. Or maybe it's a 6, but it's reduced. It's lower. And that's the key here. That's core. If it's lower, we're winning. If it's not changing, there's something to look at there. But there's a gap. You can notice more and more over time that you feel less and less and less of that anxiety or that pain or that shame, whatever might be there. That's the gap. You're noticing up. I was here on day 1. Here I am on day 36. You can see a difference. So that's our first signal. Second signal is the intensity of the emotion is reduced, the frequency it shows up, and how long it lasts, the duration of that emotion. So when I look at those 3 elements, and they're dropping farther and farther and farther, meaning you don't feel it as intensely, you don't feel it as much, and you don't feel it for as long. That's a primary signal of integration and healing happening there. Notice I'm not talking about total elimination here. The goal is reduction first, and then we might find resolution. We'll talk about that here in just a sec. But yeah, with that key element there, we can see and experience a change with our body and with our mind and the way we are responding to things, which leads us to signal number 3. We start noticing that we're responding to people, places, and things differently than we have in the past. We're saying no more without guilt or fear or anxiety. We're saying yes more without overanalyzing our choice. We're stating boundaries. We're feeling more comfortable being ourselves. We're not masking so much. We're sharing what we feel and what we think with more ease. We're smiling more. We're enjoying things a little more. Those are signals of healing. And that brings us to the 4th one, which is what I call resolution. This is where a pain or a trauma reaches closure and it no longer has emotional charge around it, and we're able to look at it or feel about it with indifference or peace or care or compassion. but it no longer has control. It doesn't hijack us anymore. It's like a 1 or a 0 on the pain scale or in the intensity scale. 0 being none, 10 being paralyzation. I don't work towards resolution with my trauma or pain. I always work towards reduction, and then sometimes resolution happens. But it is an important signal of our healing process. So those are the 4 things I watch for within my own work and with the work I have with my students in healing our pain and our trauma. So as a review, the gap, where I've been, where I'm at, reduction in pain, so the reduction of the intensity, the duration of that pain, that kind of thing, and then changes in behavior, and then sometimes resolution of that pain or trauma. This is all created by following the structure of safety, curiosity, inquiry, and care. And this structure is what I teach in the Actually Heal trainings that start July 9th. So we got 8 days till enrollment closes, because it closes July 7th, which is next Friday from the recording of this episode. And I have opened up what's called the course only option for $297. That means you can attend the course live and get live access to those trainings and lifetime access to the recordings. So you get lifetime access to the live classes and to the recordings, along with the course guide and the business or the codependency healing meditations and tools library that way. So you can attend just the course, invest in that, get what you need out of it, and move on. But if you want live support, because I offer twice a week live support, calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, live processing sessions using the tools we'll be learning in the Actually Heal trainings, as well as facilitations where we practice tools together, and then the emotional processing sessions, and then the specialized focus trainings where we go deeper on specific aspects of the work together. You'll need the Heal Your Codependency membership for that. So the course doesn't include those things. It only includes access to the live classes and to the recordings. But that is an option available for you now. So let me know your thoughts on today's episode and where you see the gap in your healing and where you're curious about where it's taking you and what you've noticed as you do your own healing work. Keep an eye out for those 4 signals, and let's see where you go in your healing. So thank you again for being part of my world and for the showing up for this episode. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, comment below, and if you want to listen to me on via podcast, many of you are, hi. You can listen to me on any podcast on Google, Apple, and Spotify, and then I'll be adding others. So there we go, guys. Thank you. Go gently, and I will see you on our next episode.